In today's video, I'll be giving you my top 5 best NFL games I have ever watched in my life. There will be no Seahawks games in this because that was a video on its own on February 28th, 2024. And disclaimer, I have to say this as always, in these kinds of videos, I've been watching football since 2018, but the first full NFL game I've ever watched that wasn't Seahawks related was Super Bowl 52, Eagles and Patriots. Enjoy the video, and as always, go Hawks! Alright, let's get this list started with Game 5. I just talked about this. We got Super Bowl 52, the Patriots and the Eagles. Eagles won their first Super Bowl, 41-33, against the NFL's villain at the time, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Just the story of this game, and as always, like I say, no defense is played. That's the kind of games I like to watch. But just Nick Foles with possibly the biggest insanity run in NFL history, takes over very late in the season after Carson Wentz went down versus the Rams, led the Eagles to a Super Bowl win, beating Tom Brady, who set a Super Bowl passing record with 505 yards. Just absolutely breathtaking greatness from that. Like I said, Eagles won their very first Super Bowl. Game 4, we got Ravens at Bengals, Week 5, 2024, 41-38 Baltimore win. It's just a classic Lamar versus Joe Burrow showdown, but pretty sure this was on Thursday night, so all of America got to watch an absolute battle between these two AFC North rivals. Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase had an electric game. Lamar himself had an electric game, 4 touchdowns. Burrow with 5 touchdowns, with 2 of them going to Ja'Marr Chase, and 193 yards of Joe Burrow's passing yards went to Ja'Marr Chase that night. Unfortunately, though, the Bengals defense couldn't do anything to stop Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense. I mean, T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown had a receiving touchdown. But it really just comes down to you need more than 1 sack on defense. You need more than Sam Hubbard having 1 sack on Lamar Jackson. But yes, it is hard to sack him. You got to pressure him with all your life, though. And you got to stop Derrick Henry, which is also easier said than done to do. They couldn't stop Zay Flowers. I mean, Hamilton with the sack. Humphrey got an interception. Just very limited defense, but an offensive shootout. I mean, 31 points alone in the fourth quarter, and the Ravens getting a game-winning Justin Tucker field goal to send them back home to Baltimore with their 3rd win of the season. Game 3, Chargers and Raiders, Week 18, the 2021 season. Winner goes to the playoffs. Holy hell, what an end to the regular season in 2021. Back and forth, all the way to the final tick of overtime. Derek Carr with the infamous just staring at the clock and then just doing this to the ref to call a timeout to practically win the game for the Raiders. Probably the coolest thing Derek Carr's ever done in the NFL, but I don't know, Raiders fans might think different. But even if you're like a Chargers fan, you probably should appreciate how great this game was. Well, 35-32. Like the absolute longest game-tying drive from Justin Herbert, it felt like. And I swear it was just Josh Palmer catching every crucial 4th down on that game-tying drive for the Chargers to send the game into overtime. And then Daniel Carlson, being the elite kicker he is outside of Minnesota, sending the Raiders to the playoffs for the first time since like 2016 or something at that time, and actually still at that time. But Justin Herbert, 3 touchdowns. Derek Carr had 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler when he was actually good. Josh Jacobs being the elite running back he mainly has always been. Mike Williams had, I'm pretty sure, a touchdown at the very last second of regulation. And guess what? Once again, a game where there's like no defense. I mean, Nwosu got a sack. I mean, 3 sacks for the Chargers and 3 sacks for the Raiders. Casey Hayward got a pick, the only turnover of the game. But man, the circumstances of this game as well, like all the hype going in because like the Steelers lost, I'm pretty sure, and like if these two teams decided to tie, they could both go to the playoffs and send Roethlisberger to retirement a week ahead. But nope, it actually kind of felt like it was going to happen because the Raiders were not calling a timeout after a Josh Jacobs run as overtime was dwindling down, but then that's when Derek Carr did the timeout thing. Infinite aura clipping right there. Game 2, Bills and Chiefs divisional round in the 2021 season. The age-old classic rivalry of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in the playoffs. It's not even a rivalry, and like you have to actually win Buffalo for it to be considered a rivalry. But like I said about the last game, even if you're a Bills fan, it sucked so bad to see you guys lose. But such a good game to watch. The game that made Gabe Davis who he was. 8 catches and 4 touchdowns. 4 lead changes in the final 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure. And the infamous 13-second game-winning drive, or game-tying drive to go into overtime from the Chiefs. Bills, all you had to do was stop them. All you had to do was play defense. But you couldn't do it. And then Mahomes wins the coin toss and then sends Buffalo back to New York on a Travis Kelce corner of the end zone game-winning touchdown. And the #1 game I've ever watched in the NFL. This might legit just be the greatest NFL game ever played. But we got 54-51, Week 11, 2018 Monday Night Football, Chiefs at Rams. 6 touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. Sadly, 3 picks. 4 touchdowns from Jared Goff. Samson Ebukam had, 2 pick sixes? Or 2 touchdowns at least? This is the definition of the defense will just outscore you. Tyreek Hill, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 127, 1 touchdown. Chris Conley, 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, a receiving touchdown. 4 touchdowns from Jared Goff. 5 touchdowns from him because he had a rushing touchdown. No running back scored a rushing touchdown in this game. It was all quarterbacks doing all the damn touchdowns besides Samson Ebukam. I mean, the Rams receiving, they didn't even have a guy over 100 yards catch a touchdown. It was just Josh Reynolds, Robert Woods, Gerald Everett with 2 of them. He was elite with the Rams, but like I said, man, this is the greatest game in NFL history, period. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you'll never miss an upload. I will see you in the next video. Go Hawks!